Well, hello, boys and girls, and welcome to another edition of Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. How are we doing out there in podcast listening land? I'm pretty sure everybody's doing just swell. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. We are in, I guess you could say, hyperspeed towards Christmas, and it feels like Christmas is right around the corner. I mean, we're just a week away from Thanksgiving, believe it or not, which is mind-boggling to me. I feel like we just got into November, and here it is. Thanksgiving is literally a week away, and we all know after this is all Christmassy. You know, you're going to hear Mariah Carey nonstop on every single thing. And I guess studios aren't waiting around either, because we have a couple of Christmas films that are coming out this week. So if you are ready to get into the joyous time of the year, if you're ready to get into the Christmas spirit, you are in luck, because it all starts gearing up this weekend. But before we get into those Christmas movies, let's go into a theatrical release of a film that I seen the trailer for earlier this year. I want to say, like the beginning of summer, and I thought the film had came out already. I thought I missed it, and no, I guess it was pushed back or something. But it's coming out this Friday in theaters, November the 18th, and it is a black comedy entitled The Menu. And this looked interesting to me because I love everybody involved, and that also gave me pause, because every time I get excited for, actors who are involved in certain projects, especially when it's an ensemble and filmmakers behind the camera, I get overly excited. And more often than not lately, I get let down. But I'm still going to give it a shot. And The Menu looks like it's going to be that type of film. This film stars Ray Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult, Janet Mateer, Juliet Light. I hadn't seen her in a while. And John Leguizamo as well as many others. And this film, as I said before, is a black comedy. And it's basically this couple goes to this remote island to eat at this exclusive restaurant ran by this celebrity chef who treats the food like art. But there's some type of underhanded stuff going on behind the scenes. And because this is a quasi-horror film as well as a black comedy. So we really don't know exactly what's going on, but it looks good. It looks good. The trailer hooked me, even though the plot really didn't give the gist of what's going on here. At least the release synopsis of it. But in any event, I'm excited for it. I can't wait to check it out. This Friday in theaters, The Menu. Also, over on Netflix, we have another film which I knew nothing about until I was doing research for the show. Went back, watched the trailer, and it looks interesting. I'll put it like that. This is Slumberland, and it's a fantasy adventure film, and it's directed by Francis Lawrence, who I'm a big fan of. He, of course, did Constantine with Keanu Reeves, I Am Legend with Will Smith. He also was a part of the series that's on Apple TV Plus, C, that stars Jason Momoa, which is a very good show. I really enjoyed that show. I got to finish the last season. I never went back to finish at least the past. I don't know if that was the last season or not, but I need to watch the one that recently came out. But I've enjoyed it up to then. But he reteamed with Jason Momoa in this film. Jason Momoa stars in this movie, and it looks like a family fantasy type thing. It looks beautiful. All the films and the TV shows that I listed from Francis Lawrence, he is a very stylistic director. But it's a beautifully shot film. Whether you like his movies or not, you cannot argue with the fact that his films look beautiful. He started off as a music video director. He directed a lot of music videos back like in the 90s and the early 2000s. He really, really good director. But the plot of Slumberland goes as such. In the dream world of Slumberland, a young girl works with a outlaw to see her late father again. This one here is going to give me a slight pause because it's hitting a little close to home there. But I do want to check it out. It does look interesting. It looks cute. It looks exciting. I'm a sucker for an adventure film. I'm a sucker for fantasy films. So this should be right up my alley. We'll see this Friday on Netflix when you check out Slumberland. All right, now over on another streaming service, Disney Plus to be exact, we have a sequel. If you noticed, these next three or our last three can't wait are either rehashes or sequels. And I'm not knocking it, but it just drives home the point that Hollywood, the originality in Hollywood is gone, went on vacation. But if you're gonna do sequels or reboots or re-envisioned versions of properties, at least try to add a little something to it. And these next three films look like they're doing this. Our first film, which will be available on Disney Plus this Friday, is a sequel to a film that shocked me beyond shocked. I did not think I was gonna like the original, and that film was Enchanted. And I watched that movie because I had two girls. They were young at the time. I think it was 2007 when Enchanted came out. So my girls were like, I don't know, 5, 6 or 5, around that age. So we rented it. Went to Redbox. When Redbox, I think, are there Redboxes still around? I don't know. But we went to Redbox, rented it for them so they can have something to watch. And I watched it with them. And I think I enjoyed it more than they did. I really loved Enchanted. I was laughing out loud with this film. I enjoyed it. I even went back and now we bought that. Now that I think about it, I think we ended up buying Enchanted, but it was so good, so good. One of the best Disney films to come out around that era. Hands down. And live action wise, not animation. I'm not going to count that, but live action wise, this is one of the best Disney films around that time. So finally, after all these years, we're getting a sequel exclusively on Disney Plus, amply entitled Disenchanted. And everyone's returning. Everybody is returning for this sequel, and that is exciting for me. Amy Adams, Patrick Dempsey, James Matheson, and many, many more. This looks good. Now, well, I ain't gonna say it looks good. Let me be honest. The trailer didn't do anything for me. That being said, the Enchanted trailer didn't do anything for me back then, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So I didn't really put too much stake in the trailer. The trailer did not hook me, but I am committed to watch this movie. Honestly, it bust into my most anticipated list when I found out it was coming out this year. And so I don't have to wait long. Only a couple of days. Disenchanted pops up on Disney Plus this Friday, November the 18th. Now we have our Christmas time. It's time to gear up for Christmas. It's time to get into the spirit, get into the gift giving spirit and mood. And why not start with some good old fashioned holiday cheer? This is the sequel to the definitive Christmas movie. And what makes this the definitive Christmas movie? One, it has Christmas in the title. And two, I don't care who you are. You have seen this movie. You have seen A Christmas Story. Everybody has seen it. If you haven't, just wait a couple of weeks. You will see it. It's on TBS. It comes on round the clock on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day every year. I know this movie backwards and forwards. I can quote every line from this film. Who has it? This movie came out in 1983. And no, I'm not talking about the re-release of A Christmas Story. I'm talking about the sequel. Yes, after 40 years, we are getting a sequel to A Christmas Story entitled A Christmas Story Christmas. A movie so big, Christmas is in it twice. This is a weird feeling. I'm kind of like excited yet fearful of it, because this is like it's a classic. A Christmas Story is a classic, and whether it's a good film or not, that's to be debated. Who cares? It's a movie. It is a movie about Christmas. It is just a joyous movie. You know, you shoot your eye out. I mean, come on, man. That's the. I love that movie. I loved that movie, and you know, some things you should leave well enough alone. And I always felt you should leave this alone. As far as remaking it, you know, I remember years ago they were talking about remaking it. Like, for what? You can. There's nothing to remake. There's nothing you can add nor take away from this to make it better. You know, if you're not going to make anything better, it's best that you leave it alone. Now, doing a sequel to this never crossed my mind, because I figured everybody was too old. Nobody want to come back and make this movie. Boy, was I wrong. We're getting those who are alive, as far as the adults are concerned. Some of them are returning, and all the kids are returning from the film, where they're not kids anymore. We even getting Ralphie, and this is what the film is centered around: older Ralphie, as he returns to his childhood home, so with his family, so they can experience Christmas as he did when he was a youngster. And it looks all right. You know, I'm not super excited for it, to be 100% honest with you, but I am very intrigued. I want to see how they pull this off. I want to see how they pull this off. Will they stain the legacy, or will it just kind of just be a movie? You know, I'm praying that it's not bad. I hope and pray it's not bad. The actual premise to this is 30 years after the events of A Christmas Story, Ralphie returns to his former childhood home with his wife and children and reunite with his old friends. His mother, now widowed after the death of the old man, convinced Ralphie to give his family the kind of magical Christmas the old man always did. Ralphie soon realized that the task is much more difficult than it seemed when Ralphie was a child. Like I said, this looks like it's going to be kind of wholesome family fun, just like the original is. So I'm good. I'm going to watch it. Of course, I got to watch this. This is will it be a classic like the original? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. But around that time in 1983, did anybody think A Christmas Story was going to come out to be a classic? Boy, were we wrong. Boy, were we wrong. So, who knows? A Christmas Story Christmas will be available tomorrow, November the 17th on HBO Max. So it'll be at home for you to view. Yeah, I think I done talked myself up to it. I'm bucked up for it. I probably won't watch it tomorrow. I'll probably watch it over the weekend sometime. And hey, I might give it a review as well. So, yeah, check out A Christmas Story Christmas on HBO Max Thursday, November the 17th. Our final film this week on Can't Wait Wednesday is also a reimagining of a Christmas classic. Everybody knows about A Christmas Carol. We've seen 1,000,005 versions of A Christmas Carol. Well, we're getting 1,000,006 this Friday on Apple TV Plus. But this one looks funny and fun and just Christmas joy. I watched this trailer and I was just so excited. So excited. I mean, I didn't think a Christmas themed musical comedy would hook me like this. Even though I love both of the actors in here, there's a number of actors in here that I'm a big fan of. So, Spirited comes out on Apple TV Plus this Friday, November the 18th, and it stars Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, Octavia Spencer, Patrick Page, and countless others. It's directed by Sean Astor, who directed one of the funniest films I've seen in recent memory. And once again, another film that I did not expect to be that good, that funny, and it was Sex Drive. Sex Drive was one of the funniest movies I've seen in the last 20 years. When I say on the ground crying, laughing the first time I watched that movie, I was on the ground crying, laughing. I couldn't believe it. And he's directed some other films here and there. I think he directed We're the Millers, which I enjoyed as well. And some others sprinkled in there. But this looks so much fun. And it is a Christmas themed musical. And I'm not the biggest musical person, but you add Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds to the mix, sign me up. Check and check. I'm good. I'm ready. Sit me down. I'm ready to roll. Now, this movie had already came out in select cities in theaters last week on the 11th, which I don't know why they did that against Black Panther Wakanda Forever, but it was just for Academy Award consideration because it has to be released in a theater for at least a week in order to be eligible for that. So I think that's why they did that, because it sure wasn't for box office. But anyways, but it will be on Apple TV Plus for everyone to enjoy this Friday. This premise of this, I mean, we all know A Christmas Carol, but it has a little twist to it. The plot is, each Christmas Eve, the ghost of Christmas present select one dark soul to reform by a visit by three spirits. But this season, he picked the wrong Scrooge. Clint turns the table on the ghostly host until Present himself re-examines his own past, present, and future. For the first time, A Christmas Carol is told from the perspective of the ghosts in this hilarious musical twist of the classic Dickens tale. I love this premise. We always seen it from Scrooge's perspective, but we never saw it from the ghost perspective. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's new and inventive. That's new. That's because how many times we going to see this Charles Dickens tale told? We all know Scrooge. He's met by three ghosts. By the end, he's old. Oh yeah, Tiny Tim and all this here. Yeah, we've been through all that. But for this Scrooge, who is portrayed by Ryan Reynolds, turns the tables on the ghost. Now they got to reevaluate their own. Come on, man, give me this. I can't wait. This is my most anticipated of the weekend, and I don't have to wait too much longer. Just a couple of more days on November the 18th. Spirited on Apple TV Plus. So those are your films for this weekend. As you can see, it looks like they dumped everything on this weekend because they were staying away from last weekend because they were scared of Black Panther, rightfully so. But this week we have The Menu available in theaters. On Netflix, we have Slumberland. Over there on Disney Plus, we have Disenchanted. On HBO Max, starting tomorrow, we have A Christmas Story, Christmas. And on Apple TV Plus, the musical comedy Spirited. Can't wait for these films. They all look exciting in their own right. Which one are you excited for? I'm excited for all 5. But hey, maybe all these ain't up your alley. Maybe you want a little horror. Let's go a little horror comedy or whatever. Go see The Menu. Maybe you want to see a fantasy adventure film. Go ahead and watch Slumberland. Maybe you like Disney princess movies. Check out Disenchanted. And if you're into Christmas movies, you have a Christmas Story. Christmas, it was hard for me to get out because too many Christmases in it. And Spirited. Everybody, if you want to get in contact with the show, you can email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also look me up on Twitter, KB Radio Network, and all social media platforms. Don't forget about the 5 stars and the reviews if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, and if you're listening on Spotify and other listening platforms. Don't forget about sharing the show, letting everybody know you're listening to Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, I'm all geared up for this Christmas season. I don't want to overlook the turkeys because I want my turkey and I don't know, because I heard turkeys were kind of high this year. Well, everything is high, but I heard a good turkey is like $80 or something like that. That's what somebody told me. I don't know. I'm not a grocery shopper, but that's what I'm hearing. If that's the case, it looks like I'll probably be going to Popeyes and just getting a 20-piece, and we're going to roll like that this year. But in any event, the holiday season has unofficially kicked off, and I am here for it. Everybody, thank you for joining me today. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Hope you enjoy these films that are being released. Until we speak again, I want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love one another, and you all be blessed.